Welcome to the JWK show. Hope you guys are having a great day. Let's get right into the video, but before that, don't forget to check out our sponsor, crypto exchange BITUNIX. Link is in the description below. Now, we are waiting for interest rate cuts from Jerome Powell, via Trump urging Jerome Powell to lower interest rates. However, that has not happened yet. So we had Jerome Powell essentially prolonging the bear markets, or not bear market, I would say ranging market. And guys, once we see the interest rate cuts coming in, we will see cryptos go parabolic, just as we saw during the last interest rate cuts, Bitcoin making a new all-time high. So that will be one of the catalysts for a crypto pump. But luckily we do have Powell, although Powell, again, prolonging the ranging market. We do have, luckily, Powell being pro-crypto. So let's take a look at this video from CoinDesk. We have Powell at the ECB Forum, Central Banking, from June 30th to July 2nd. So it is still currently happening as we speak. And we have Powell claiming the U.S. is well on its way to creating a framework for stablecoin. So at least Powell is pro stablecoin. Let's take a look at this video.
And so yes to that question. Let me say on stablecoins if I can.
Yep.
I do share the concerns that you hear here, but I also think it's a positive step that we don't have a regulatory framework for these now in the United States. We tried very hard in the last Congress to work with people on both sides of the aisle to create such a thing. Now it looks like we're well on the way to creating a framework, which I think is something we need. If we're going to have stable coins, and apparently we need to have a federal and state level regulatory framework, which I think we're making progress towards having.
We only have a couple of minutes left, but
right, we have stablecoin regulations officially implemented by August to September, sometime during that time frame, and we have confirmation from the 1% of stablecoins happening. Guys, it is not an if. Guys, it is not an uncertainty. Guys, stablecoins are officially taking over the financial system, and eventually we will see everyone globally transacting using stablecoins. And so we do have from Ripple's Jack McDonald, Senior VP of RLUSD, explaining why the RLUSD stablecoin is more highly regulated than any other stablecoin, including Tether and USDC. Thus will be at the top of the markets, will be one of the biggest stablecoins, if not the biggest, in the stablecoin market. Guys, it is all about being compliant with regulations and being adopted by the 1%. And with the 1% engineering stablecoin regulations, evident we have the 1% choosing RLUSD as it is the most highly compliant with their own regulations. Let's take a look at this video.
Stable coins, you can start to separate out the issuers, the types of stable coins. There's either US dollar backed or non-dollar backed, and then you can get into kind of subcategories of, are they 100% US dollar backed? US dollar backed stable coins represent 97% of the $240 billion market today. So I think that your question is really around US dollar-backed stable coins. There's some speculation that not all dollar-backed stable coins are the same. In our case, we follow the guidelines from our regulator, New York DFS, and only invest in high-quality liquid assets in terms of those reserves. And so not all stablecoin issuers are the same. Some are regulated, some are not. We're the most regulated in the land by being regulated as a trust bank out of New York State, and so that's different than a Tether that's largely unregulated, certainly not regulated in the U.S., doesn't go through the same regulatory requirements that we do. Circle issues their stable coins out of money transmitter licenses here in the U.S. We have some money transmitter licenses. We also have a trust bank charter, and that's where we issue the stable coin out of. So it's one step, I'd say, further up the regulatory food chain. There are much more rigor and requirements that we need to go through. And also, as a trust bank, we act as a fiduciary for our clients. So there's an important distinction there that only as a fiduciary can you hold client reserves in truly bankruptcy remote accounts, which we have. Specific to PayPal's stablecoin Pi USD, a little bit different in that they also enjoy being issued out of a New York regulated entity, Paxos. However, those are two different companies, and so PayPal essentially licenses the platform, if you will, or have a bit of a white label type of relationship with Paxos to get their stablecoin issued. We're different in that we're totally vertically integrated. So we have our own license. We control 100% of the economics, the issuance, the distribution, etc., and just rely on our own licenses to do that.
We also had Circle USDC applying for national bank charters from the OCC, allowing them to operate across state lines without money and transmitter licenses. And we also have Fidelity Digital Assets applying for the same thing, and several crypto firms as well. So we do have Fidelity, Circle, all wanting to become banks and doing transaction for many of their customers. And we do have a breaking issue from American Express being a Ripple partner, and that is a notice to clients regarding delays in cross-border payments and wire transfers, citing a Federal Reserve system update and a wide system upgrading. And guys, we do have on July 14th, the Federal Reserve FedNow payment system, FedWire, migrating over to ISO 20022. So is this warning issue for American Express related to the migration, again happening on July 14th. And we do have SBI having a massive XRP transfer of 320 million XRP. And lastly, we can see from the Zurich airport at Switzerland, we do have XRP ads. Great to see. We have XRP going mainstream. That's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.